Well, the good news is it's almost the weekend and Ruth is here. What have you got for us?
I always make that mistake when I say it to people who've got to work over the weekend, so I've learned the hard way. Well, I can promise you though, plummeting temperatures tonight. So I have just the perfect early winter warmer for you. A night in front of the telly and of course an episode of Coast and Country could be just the thing. On the programme tonight, Sean is heading underground and exploring a silver mountain, a 250-year-old silver mine in Aberystwyth. It was originally known as Llanelwog mine and was discovered by accident in the 18th century. Well, as John said a few minutes ago, the weather, not such an issue underground, but we do have a bit of weather to get through as we head into the coming weekend. Very much a weekend of two halves. So if you're making outdoorsy plans, I would certainly make them, if you can, for Monday. Monday for Saturday, because it all goes horribly downhill again by the time we get into Sunday. But I think the temperatures are going to be the real talking point because high pressure's brought the rather settled end to the week. Feels like a Friday, doesn't it? Don't know what day it is at the moment. But that means that we're going to have clear skies tonight. And that in turn means that the temperatures are really going to take something of a tumble. So these are the general views across much of the UK tonight. We're looking at -3, -4 in Sennybridge, possibly. And that would make it one of the coldest places across the whole of the UK. Something a little milder into next week, though, so don't panic. Here are the details. Yeah, so John, winter officially begins next week with a little early taste of it tonight, whatever the day is.
Excellent, yeah. You're wishing your weekend away.
I know,
then.
I'm sorry about that. Well, a little bit of magic is going to happen with the map. If you look closely, the first time we've seen this for quite some time, but look, a rather ominous shade of blue. And that means it is going to be bitterly cold tonight, not surprisingly. Under clear skies, the temperatures will tumble away. -3, -4 possible in more sheltered rural spots, possibly something slightly less cold out towards coastal areas where there's a little bit more of a breeze. But certainly most of us tomorrow morning are going to wake to a sharp, widespread frost, a bit of a shock to the system. And actually, as I said, the first time we've seen this for quite some time. So a bitterly cold and frosty start to your Saturday morning, feeling all very wintry, but bright and beautiful nevertheless. Lots of blue sky and sunshine for you. Maybe just a few wisps of high level cloud bubbling up during the course of the day, but I don't think you'll notice. So perfect conditions for getting out and about tomorrow. But wrap up, take some extra layers. It is going to feel bitterly cold throughout, with temperatures struggling to get much above 6 or 7 in Celsius. Colder still further inland, but thankfully not too much of a breeze. So almost perfect conditions. So again, we'll see a widespread frost developing through Saturday night and into Sunday. But as I've been saying, it's certainly going to be a weekend of two halves because Sunday things effectively return to normal with more wet and windy weather waiting in the wings. So that's going to bring some very unsettled conditions, but it should also bring something slightly milder in terms of temperature. So as far as your outlook is concerned, it is all very hit and miss. Bright and beautiful to start the weekend. Business as usual then as we head into Sunday. And the signs are that really into next week, it is going to be hit and miss. And of course, as we go into next week, we have the start of meteorological winter around the corner. Hello there. It's a dry and bright end to the week. Lots of blue sky and sunshine out there for you this afternoon, but we do now have a northerly airflow and that means it's bitterly cold. Numbers wise, highs of around 9 or 10, but these are your feels like values. So struggling to get much above 2 or 3 degrees in many areas. Bitterly cold out there. And as a result, not surprisingly, the temperatures are really going to tumble overnight tonight. Calm and quiet with lengthy clear skies. And the map turns this rather ominous shade of blue. We haven't seen this for quite some time. Quite widely, values dropping below the freezing mark, which means a sharp and widespread frost by the early hours of tomorrow morning, setting us up though for a beautiful start to the weekend.